was just troubleshooting and getting up some screens to sync up when we were talking about the sponsors.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You want to get over there and do anything, Richton?
Yeah, you can mess around with the cameras and stuff. I was gonna do the postings to get some of that stuff ready and all that. So we haven't posted yet some of the stuff from last week.
Yeah, I can work the camera.
Yeah, I gotta just press the buttons right now. So Ray, do you want to look at any of the videos from last week?
I've looked at some of them, but I want to talk about some things with you because Brent just called us, said something. Well.
Brent's our feedback.
Well, actually,
That you can get a job in the electrical industry.
I need to get you guys to do me a favor. Write down all the verticals that this is gonna be on.
For social media, like we can post them on.
Write all the verticals down that this is gonna be on, so I can post it on LinkedIn and Facebook, all that.
Yeah, like the different media.
Yeah, that way I can make sure people see it.
Yeah, he's got
Okay.
it's pretty much put tools in schools, get them out of your house.
I'll tell you what they are.
Okay.
I'll send them to you if I have to.
Yeah, just send them to me, and that way I wanna make sure I put this on all my social media. I got a couple.
All right, I see what you did. You put the logo up.
Yeah.
Okay, you just tell me when you're
You
ready.
start. So, you want
Oh,
that
tell
now?
me when to count down.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 about your house. Got Bullet Helms with me today, talking to you Facebook Live, YouTube Live, About Your House Radio. Also, we're on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app, stream us live stream us every Saturday morning, 9 to 11 on Fox Sports Charlotte. Just download the free app on your browser, foxsportsradiocharlotte.com. And right now it's YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Every Tuesday, every Saturday, and every day in between on the rebroadcast on the interweb. There you go. Got Bullet Helms here. We're going to talk about some remodeling projects today here. Looking at the new year, a lot of people think about their house and the holidays and what you didn't have and what you may want to have. I'm going to talk about remodeling, planning, looking ahead. We got a lot of, with the internet being what it is, YouTube University, and Lord, don't forget TV. We can't forget the Home and Garden channel. What a pile of junk. I mean, those TV shows, no, not realistic. It's entertainment. Remember, it's entertainment, and lousy entertainment at that. But you homeowners don't know any different because y'all not remodeling contractors. But let me tell you, don't believe what you see on TV. Please, don't do it. YouTube, different. But you even can't believe everything you see on YouTube. And there again, depending on who's doing it for you on YouTube. And one of the recommendations I would make personally is I would watch at least 3 or 4 examples by different contractors, specialists, technicians, whatever. Workmen, workwomen, whoever's doing it, watch 3 or 4 of them. You can tell the difference, believe me. You can tell it, can't you,
Absolutely.
Kevin?
It's cross-referencing.
Yeah, it's just cross-referencing. It's getting your hands and your mind wrapping it around what you're doing. And one of the most important things about doing any project, and if you want to tackle some of it yourself as a DIY, you got to have some tools. You've got to have tools. You got any tools?
I got a lot of tools, but I'll tell you, nowadays, especially when it comes to cars,
Oh, you can't fix cars.
I don't have the computer to plug in to tell me what's wrong with it. So that's, everybody kind of gets that. Back in the day when I was growing up, Dad pulled under the shade tree, spread out a old bedspread, and we took whatever we needed to part,
Right.
replaced it. A lot of times my dad would go to the part shop 3 or 4 times,
Oh, yeah.
swapping parts out because that didn't work.
Right. Know it well.
It was, it's just what we did back then. And so.
Speaking of that, in the home improvement industry today, it's a lot like that. because, well, I mean, I talked last hour about that Kohler toilet that leaked, right? Well, a Kohler gasket's different from the American Standard gaskets. And the American Standard gasket and Kohler gaskets are different from the Gerber gasket or American Standard gasket. So my point is, you've got to be sure when you go to the store and get what you need at the big box stores, you need to be sure the exact parts you need, and it's not always easy. It isn't easy for me. If I wasn't that familiar with various brands and knowing the differences in different products, you know, and a lot of times you'll see a YouTube video, for example, that Kohler tank I took off, you couldn't reach the bolts going through the tank. You had to go up underneath. There was a metal holder up underneath the tank that was bolted onto the tank that held the nuts.
Yep.
Now, I didn't know that going in there. I thought, take my screwdriver and just, there's two little rubber washers with two brass washers over it that seal the hole, make it waterproof. I didn't know the screws weren't going through. So therefore, an observation, an assessment is necessary on all those jobs. For example, on that one, I had to go over there to assess the damage. I thought it was the seal, but I didn't know it was the seal until I took the seal off and saw it. And to take it off, you've got to remove the tank. So not all jobs are easy. And that's just like remodeling. Remodeling is that way. It's just not knowing. Fortunately, I've got a lot of experience in remodeling, carpentry, sheet metal work, drywall work. I mean, you name it, I've done it. For example, this podcast studio, I put it together completely. The only thing I didn't build in here is this tabletop. I want to thank Carolina Urban Wood for that. Did a great job. Ambrosia Maple, he donated it to the cause here. I wanted a good-looking wooden tabletop, and he put it together for us.
Got it.
He also had this idea of pulling at a computer wire here where I can plug my laptop in. See there? Think of everything. Yeah, there you go. That's Damon Barron with Carolina Urban Wood. And I want to thank them. And while I'm thanking people, we can't forget the Queen City Home Store. And talk about remodeling. That's part of what I want to talk about, remodeling. If you're looking to remodel a kitchen, I've told you many times, the first things you want to nail down are, well, actually, there's a list of about 4 things, but I'm going to start with at least top 2. And that's one thing, you want to research your cabinets. Regardless whether you get a building contractor, a remodeling contractor, a licensed general contractor, whoever you get to do your work. Your cabinets are by far one of the largest, if not the largest expense on your job, the cabinets. And when you get cabinets, if you plan to stay in that kitchen, do not get composite product. What do I mean by composite? I mean a man-made synthetic derivative. I guess that's a good word.
There you go.
But it's like buying MDF molding. I went in a $1 million house yesterday, did my work in, and you know what they were cutting? MDF trim work, woodwork, and it wasn't woodwork. And you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I sure do.
Compressed paper bound together with adhesive, and that's in the profile of baseboard, ground mold, door casing, and all the above. Lord of mercy, don't put that junk in your house.
Seen it too often.
Water hits it, it's gone. It puffs up like a marshmallow. It's horrible. It's cheap. You get what you pay for. But regardless, just take that into consideration. Now, if you're looking to remodel your house, kitchen. Remodel your kitchen. You want to look at cabinets and try to nail them down. And you don't know what you're nailing down until you got a layout. If you're doing it yourself, then you want to research. You want to research that cabinet line, figure out what you need, where you need it. And if you're going to now the question comes up, do I need the permit? If you change anything dramatically with your electrical, you're going to have to get the electrical permitted. You don't have to get the whole job permitted, but you will have to get the electrical permitted. Now, if you go tearing out walls, moving structure, you're going to have to get the whole job permitted. Mm-hmm. Now, what do I mean by permitted? Well, it changes the complexity of your job somewhat if you have to go get permit for the whole job. just familiarize yourself with all the bureaucracy behind building permits and what you have to do and what's required. It's not a easy, down and dirty, quick process. I've had many a remodeler on the show here, which I will have many more coming up this year, and they will tell you sometimes it can take up to 2 months to get a building permit, and longer, depending on what job you're doing, like a room addition, when you get to setbacks and land, runoff, water runoff. It's not that easy. So familiarize yourself with what you need in permitting. And the only way you can do that is plan the job, put it on paper. And if you're going to do a remodel, a kitchen or a bathroom, for example, are you going to have to pull a permit on the plumbing? Possibly. But if you don't change any rough plumbing, maybe not. There again, you can find out by calling the inspection department and asking questions. But it's not always required. It just depends. So you might want to get all the groundwork done prior to even beginning to get permits. You want to find out what it's going to take. So when you start the process, it's going to go down and dirty, quick and easy for you. That's what I would do. Now, second biggest expense after you get your cabinets nailed down, well, first of all, you got to lay them out. But you can't lay out your cabinets without identifying and purchasing or planning to purchase your appliances. Your appliances. Now, what do I mean by appliances? Well, your appliances, your cooking aids. And I got to run over this. And Queen City Home Store is, to me, the place you need to go to check out the appliances. And you can do it online. You can do it right there online, unless you have space issues. And what I mean by that, first of all, I want to tell you this. Nothing is standard any longer. Nothing is standard. Used to, when you bought a 30-inch range, there were 30-inch range. And that was pretty much it, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. GE used to have a built-in 27-inch.
Oh, yeah, those things are long gone. They were old slide ins.
Never could replace any of those with a gas range because everything in gas came 30 inches.
No, you couldn't do it.
There was no cabinet room to make cuts.
No, I know. I remember it well.
Back in the 60s.
I've gone to many a
70s.
27-inch slide out, and they'd say, what can I put in there? I said, well, in this particular situation, you can't. You're just out of luck.
Unless you
or remodel your kitchen.
Yeah.
Or move some cabinets.
Yep.
And that's a reason right there you want to remodel a kitchen maybe. And the old Maytags. Maytags had some weird slide-ins too with downdrafts that were, man, they were funky. They were just a bear to change out. But anyway, these are all reasons you need to identify your issues prior to starting. But Queen City Home Store is a great place to select appliances. And back to the planning aspect of it. There is no standard, especially when it comes to refrigerators, cooking devices such as ranges, ovens, wall ovens. And wall ovens now, in the past 5 years, wall ovens come with air fryers and the technology where you just push a button and come back when it's done, and it's done.
Yep.
I mean,
stackable units, 2 ovens, microwave, oven, up above.
Everything.
I mean, it's the combinations are incredible. And then you go back to some of the things we didn't see up until 20 years ago, were the wine coolers.
Oh yeah, wine
the
coolers,
trash compactors. I mean, there's so many different things that have come in and modernized our kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you're doing a kitchen design and you're wanting to upgrade, per se, the appliances, I mean, you got to decide on what, do I want 2 ovens? Do I want a cooktop? Do I want a Wolf cooktop? You know, some of these.
Well, I was going
things,
to that.
I mean,
You know, a lot of people, if you're going to stay in your house, and I've mentioned this many times, I would highly recommend paying, particularly if you like to cook. If you like to cook, you don't want to skimp on your range. You really don't. Now, I realize they're very expensive. I mean, a Wolf range, they hang in there around 10 grand, you know, give or take, okay? Maybe a couple thousand either way, depending on what you get, depending on how wide, and what accessories you get on it. But Wolf is my go-to. Great, great, great range. And I've taken a survey too, folks, meaning I go into a lot of houses, and there's a V word in appliances, the big V word, you know? You know what the V word is?
Not tell me.
Viking.
Viking, yeah. Okay.
A lot of people think Vising's the Mac Daddy. Viking is. You keep thinking that.
I tell you a funny story about appliances.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. Tell me a funny story.
I
Will
was
laugh.
oh yeah, this was hilarious.
I want to laugh.
I went to a guy's house out in Oakdale. We'd ran gas lines. He had a nice big house out there. He was obviously a trophy hunter. Hunted all over
Okay.
the world,
Got some heads.
We got to talking about guns and everything and all the stuff that he wanted to buy for the home. Well, I signed a contract for about $10,000. And 30, 40 years ago, that was a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it was.
So I looked at him and he
Still
said,
is to me.
and after he signed getting ready to sign the contract, I put a caveat in there. I said, this contract will be null and void if your wife doesn't approve of the range that you selected for.
Right.
And I circled and I said, you need to initial there. He said, what are you doing? I said, dude, I'm telling you right now, you're going to live with that woman for another 30, 40 years. I said, when's the last time she bought your gun? She don't buy your guns. No, she don't. And I said, she's going to be
Good point.
She's
That's
going
a
to be
great
she's going to be
point.
cooking for you for the next 30, 40 years. This range will last at least 25 or 30. You buy her the wrong range.
You gonna hear about it.
And I said, you're going to hear about it for the next, until it breaks down.
Yep.
He said, he looked at me, he said, Mr. Bullitt, you're wiser beyond your age. I said, no, I live with a wife. She don't buy my fishing rods. And he said, point taken. I said, you have her come down when she can. She called me that night. She said, you pretty dang smart. I said, I'm coming down to your showroom tomorrow. She came down there, and she picked out what she wanted.
Right.
And we rewrote that contract. And he said, man, did I ever make a bad mistake?
Right.
Wasn't nothing close to what she wanted. I said, yeah. You need a 30-06 to do your job, and she bought you a 22.
Right.
Yeah, so I get it.
Well, yeah, I'll give you another great example of that. I was in a house a couple of weeks back, replaced the wall ovens. And here's a great story, and I've told once, I'll tell it again. I went out, they wanted a new double wall oven. Well, the new double wall oven was bigger than their old double wall oven. It was like somewhere like around 4 or 5 inches bigger. Mm-hmm. Well, you can't just get 4 or 5 inches just at a whim, you know. So we had to take there were 2 drawers below it. There were 2 drawers below the existing oven. So what we did, we took one of the drawers out and then put a warming drawer below it to take up that space. And then I still had a 4.5 inch, it was a 5.5 inch filler between the warming drawer and the bottom of the oven. But it worked well. It looked good. The homeowner was happy with it. But there again, you know, I had to make it work. And therefore, in remodeling, that works to the point which I was telling you. If you plan it, you'll know all this on the front end, just like I knew when I went down there that morning what I was going to do to get that to fit.
Right.
And when I show up on the job, I wanted to show up on the job with everything I need to do the job. So when I leave, it's done. It's finished. And I don't have to go to the box store. I don't have to take another trip. I don't have to waste my time because time is money. So plan. Now that's the second largest expense. Now the third are all your countertops and your finishes. Your countertops, your backsplash. And don't forget one of the most important facets of every kitchen. What do you think I'm going to say? You're old. You can't see good.
No, well.
Lighting. Lighting is by far one of the most important facets of a kitchen. And if there's a way you can get now this is all on the plan, folks. Mm-hmm. Counter lights. With LED technology being what it is today, there's no reason in the world that any remodeled kitchen doesn't have counter lighting. Man, that's the stuff. And it's easy to accomplish. Recessed cans. Cans have pretty much gone by the byway due to the new LED retrofit cans.
Yeah.
They work, but there again, lighting. Not only lighting, but where are you going to switch this lighting? How many switches are going to control the lighting? Are they going to be on dimmers? Dimmers. The dimmers you use on LEDs aren't necessarily what you might use on the old incandescents, or what do you call those? R bulbs, the par bulbs. They're like heat lamps. Par bulbs. How's your coffee there, big guy?
It's good.
Good deal. But so therefore, you need to plan your lighting. So we got Cabinets. You got to plan on how you plan cabinets without measuring your kitchen? You know how to read a tape measure? That's a question I ask a lot of people these days. Very few people know how. Ain't that right, Richard?
That's true.
Richard says,
Well, there's an old saying though that if you fail to plan,
you plan to fail.
you plan to fail. And one thing that we have an advantage over now is access to the internet.
Yeah, there's so much information available to you.
I mean,
right there at your fingertips.
If you go in to buy a car, like me, I bought a truck 6 months ago.
Tundra.
Tacoma.
Oh, Tacoma.
And,
Excuse
I was
me.
trading one in that had over 200,000 on it, and I did my research. I knew exactly what I wanted. There was some stuff that I liked about the old truck that I didn't need. I mean, you know, why do I need a moonroof? You know,
See the moon, man.
so I can get my head burnt. So you know. So anyway, you know, you do your research, and when you walk in, I told that kid, I said, "Look, I'm here to buy a truck. This is what I'm looking at," and I said, "All you need to do is get me within $25 of my current payment, and it's a done deal. Just bring me a credit app." Well, he came back, and he was $120 off on the payment,
Higher.
higher. And I said, "Let me
Can
tell
you
you."
read my lips?
I said, "Let me tell you something. I've been on your end. I've sold commercial vehicles. I sold retail vehicles. I've sold used cars. I know the ins and outs of this business better than your boss. Now you go back and tell him who you're dealing with and get me within $25 and just bring me a credit app." He came back about 10 minutes later. He said, "Here's your credit app. I got you within $20. I said, "Thank you. It's a done deal." So, you know, being able to do that research with your appliances, obviously you can't do anything about your cabinets until you know what appliances are going.
That's right. You've got to bundle it all up. The appliances, like you got a 30-inch range right now. Well, you go shopping for a range and you look before you plan it out totally, and that's why all these things are important. And you're looking at a range and you say, well, you know, 36-inch range just has another burner, or maybe you want a griddle in the middle or a grill in the middle or whatever. You want more accessories, but the 30-inch doesn't offer that. So you want to go to a 36. Well, that's 6 inches you got to put in your cabinet planning.
Well, as you change size ranges,
Yeah.
you got to look above. What's going to be in it?
Yep, you got to vent.
How's that going to affect what I'm buying down here, up here?
Exactly.
So there's so many active parts
right.
in the planning that it's actually very difficult for somebody doing it themselves.
It is.
to
That's
sit
why I
down
want
there
to
and
talk
go
about it going
through
into
that.
the new year, because it's not for everybody. And not only that, but your new range is going to dictate where the gas goes, where the electrical outlet goes. All these things have to be nailed down prior to beginning. And I promise you, it's going to save you a lot of stress, a lot of headaches. And it's essential for a good job. For example, yesterday when I went in the hood, and I got another story to share with you about Monday's hood removal. Largest hood I've ever taken down out of a kitchen. It's the largest one I'll put back up too, but I'll tell you that one in a minute. But I went out, and sure enough, here we go with electrical again. Electrician, he was supposed to. When you get a built-in 24-inch deep refrigerator, for example, it's built in. Once you slide it in the hole, it's flush with the front of the cabinets. It looks built in. Beautiful. It looks great. Well, you put that rascal in, where are you going to plug it in at? You got to be able to reach the disconnect. So there's a place, a specific place. It'll even give you measurements on the installation sheet of where the receptacle goes, the electrical. Well, guess what? The electrician had to come in yesterday and move it because the idiot, that's right, I said idiot, did not check the installation instructions. Therefore, he put it in the wrong place, so he had to come back out and move it. Happens all the time. There's another example. I got to tell this story because I think I'm going to run into it again this week. It happens more times than I'd like to admit. I was asked by two beautiful designers to come out and take a hood down in a kitchen in South Charlotte, down in Waxhaw. And I said, sure, let's do it. 84 inches wide, which is 7 foot. Big old hood. Biggest hood. It goes over a 6 foot, beautiful range. I don't know who made that range, but it was nice. But anyway, so we had to take it down. Reason we took it down is so they could put up a new backsplash, tear out the old backsplash, put a new backsplash up of tile, whether it's porcelain or ceramic, I don't know, but it's got a very heavy texture to it. Well, we've got to go back down there when the new splash gets put back in, and then we got to hang the hood back. But here's what we learned. That hood's been up 11 years. That house is 11 years old. And we noticed taking it down, there was a lot of grease. A lot of grease. I'm saying a lot of grease. My hands was greasy. I mean, they were wet with grease. That's how bad it was. We took the liner out. This hood had a liner which held the fan and the blower motors, right? We took it down. That fan had never been hooked up correctly. And the top damper, the butterfly damper on the vent hood was closed, never would open because they made the ductwork male and it's supposed to be female, and it went right over the dampers where they couldn't open. So this vent hood, 11 years, has not been functioning at all as a vent hood. And around the top of the boot, going into the top, you could see grease just oozing out. You know, just dripping.
That's a nasty job.
Oh, yeah, it was a dirty job. We got to clean that hood before it goes back up. But more so, we got to make sure it's connected correctly where the air will flow. I've got another one, Kevin.
I remember when we did about last summer where the damper flap, it just didn't take the tape off. So
No, yeah, it was taped shut.
And it was like that, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was 10 years old. It had been 10 years. And like I said at the beginning of the conversation, you know, and Kevin's going to help me with this one Thursday. And it's a vent-a-hood. And there again, my suspicions came knocking at my head after I finished the one Monday. I said, you know, it's great. Because you know why they're replacing that hood? Because it's dirty. And I think now why it's dirty is because when they and it's been replaced before. So this hood we're taking out Thursday. We've taken it out. It's been replaced before. I didn't replace it. Someone else did. So this is the third hood that's been in that kitchen, all because of
Are they
grease.
replacing it or just
They're
cleaning it?
replacing it.
Oh, wow.
Putting a brand new one in. We're putting it in. We're taking the old one out just like it and putting a new one in. I'll bet you money before we ever get there, the damper's closed. I bet you. It may not be, but
Oh, my goodness.
I would bet on it. And this one yesterday, and that's something, there again, if the electrician does his job prior to me getting there, I'm going to tell you when I leave if it's working or not, because I'm going to go out and feel air. I'm going to feel the airflow. Okay, the point to all that is, you going to vent your kitchen? Well, now I'm going to ring your bell. There is no code requirement for kitchen ventilation in residential structures, meaning you don't have to put a vent hood up. You don't have to put a ventilation system in to go to the outside, unless the manufacturer of the range requires it. Manufacturer's specifications supersede building code.
Absolutely.
Whatever the manufacturer said. Now, to that point, if a building inspector wants to get finite or really tight on you, he's going to measure the distance between the cooktop and the bottom of the range hood. Because on this installation specifications, it's going to give you a measurement, not to exceed between 27 and 36 inches, whatever. So you better not go above 36 and the inspector catch you, because he could make you tear it down, take it down, and lower it. Because manufacturer's recommendations supersede building code. Remember these things because it's important. Very important. Very important. The last thing you should select, in my way of thinking, in a kitchen, are cabinet pulls. I remodeled kitchens, design, build for 40 years plus. And the last thing normally I would have everything planned out, except for the cabinet pulls. And why would that be? Because you can't see the beauty. You can't really pick out the pulls until you see the rest of the kitchen. Now, could you? And you may have picked a cabinet pull that you love, but you put it on the cabinet. Once they're up, you see them in real time. You say, ooh, that's ugly. I don't like that after all.
And it's also an opportunity to give her the final decision.
Yeah, you can work this thing. That's right. And another thing I've got to throw in here, and to your point, Bullet, on the wife deal. Two-legged sales. Two-legged sales. If you don't know what that means, let me tell you. Before all decisions are final, both decision makers need to be present and sign on the line and agree to the agreement. If they don't, it ain't done. And then sometimes my customer being the wife, she says, well, my husband can't be here. He's got to work. He's going to be here for this appointment or I ain't showing. I will not do it any other way because I have been Dr. Phil too many times. Ain't doing that. No. You know, and husbands and wives on a remodeling job, if your communication skills aren't good, please correct them. Please hone them up a little bit. Because when you're remodeling your house, it's very important that you stay on the same page. It really is. It calls for a lot less stress. And you know we have temper through the months, moods, let's call it moods. Moods can change, am I right or wrong?
Absolutely.
They go up and they go down.
Absolutely.
And I cover that in my pre-construction conference. I said, you're going to have days where they're going to be rough. Well, you just vent. Let me have it. If you come in here one day and you're angry, be angry at me. Let me know. I want to hear it because you shouldn't have to hold it in. If something bothers you, communicate. Ain't nothing any worse in a remodeling project than holding something in because it's going to show up.
Well, to your point there, you know, there is a TV show. We watched it several times and more than enough, but there's a TV show where people start their own do-it-yourself project.
Right.
And they get 8 months to a year and a half down the road, and it might be 20, 25, 30%. They've got no inspections. They've got a mess that they've been living in for, 8 months to a year and a half.
Right.
Everything's unfinished. You got all this stuff laying around. And it's because he didn't know what he was doing and couldn't get help, couldn't pay for help, and all of a sudden he's got all this stuff torn out. It's easy to tear something up.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's the easiest part of
Putting
the
it back,
kid.
especially
I can impress the heck out of you in one day.
Oh, yeah. A sledgehammer and some duct tape. Let's go.
No sledgehammers, but
I
get you.
Anyway, they got all this stuff tore out. They're living without tile in the bathroom. The bathroom's tore up. It's a functioning toilet, and that's it.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they decide to call a professional. When all this could have been done, planned, sorted out, and within, most time it's 3 to 4 months.
Right.
On a complete remodel on something like that, maybe 5, depending on the complexity. But had it all done, saved them all the expense, all the heartache, and, marriage is a lot. I've been married almost 42 years.
You're a lucky man.
And it's a lot about communication.
It's all about communication.
Exactly. So when you get to that point where you're not speaking to one another because the bathroom's not done, the kitchen's half done, and wives don't like walking around in a mess.
Not for so long.
I mean, they'll tolerate it for a little bit, but.
Well, and to that point, I told you planning. Your cabinets are very important. All right, you got to nail down when your cabinets are going to show up. You don't want to get ahead of the schedule to a point. Your appliances. Up front, you want to know and get those suckers ordered because sometimes they might be 2 months out. You need to know where your products are, and if you can stage and get product before you need it, like tile backsplash. And a lot of people are going with stone backsplash now, and you're definitely not going to order it ahead of time because the stone company's going to do it. But if you're putting a tile backsplash or some other splash up, you may want to get that ordered and have it on hand when the countertops go on. You want to go ahead and get your counter with a full plan on paper, complete plan. That's your job. If you've done your job correctly in planning, and that's why I wanted to bring it up here again on About Your House, is because your job should be complete on paper, done, finished. We had a thing to where we had what we call a pre-construction conference. And when we had that pre-construction conference, I gave a completed file to the homeowner, both homeowners, be it a man and a husband and wife, partners, whatever. I gave one each, and I gave my lead man a folder, and I says, here's the job. It's done. It's complete. Everything's in here, except for what? Cabinet pulls. And maybe the paint color. But other than that, everything's there. Cabinets, appliances, countertop material, who's gonna install what, electrician, plumber, whatever contractors are needed. We knew who they were, what they were gonna do, the scope of their work. Everything was in that file. Essentially, the job was done, and there would be a timeline. Now, let's talk about a timeline. Now, if you're a DIY, just timelines are kind of become ineffective because you're going to screw up along the way, and your contractor's going to screw up because you don't know what you're doing well enough to keep it moving. That's where contractors have an advantage, because contractors have a pre-made relationship. They typically have a relationship before they ever hit the job. And that's why you want to call a contractor, because of said established relationships that contractors may have. And there is a lot of great contractors in the city of Charlotte. Speaking of that, let's talk about NARI a minute. You've been a member of NARI for quite a few years off and on, have you not, Bullet?
Since it's in conception.
October of 1990.
Yep, I was at Piedmont Natural Gas, and we were charter members.
Every month, they have a monthly meeting, and you can go on to NARI.com, NARICharlotte.com, just like I did just then. Pull up dinner meeting right at the top, and it's January 22nd, 2026. That'd be a Thursday night, 5:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at the Queen City Home Store corporate office, which is at 11410 Carolina. Oh, they changed it. Excuse me. Good to know. We're going to be at the new store.
Queen
That's
City?
a good thing. Brand new store in Pineville, 11410 Carolina Place Parkway, number 102. The brand new Pineville store. That's where the meeting is going to be. Now I'm excited because a week ago it was listed at the Queen City corporate store on Queen City Drive, but now it's going to be at 11410 Carolina Place Parkway, the new store in Pineville. I'm excited. So, hey, if you're a remodeler or thinking about becoming a NARI member or want to just get out and network and meet some high-quality, top-drawer remodeling contractors, I highly recommend that you get on NARICharlotte.com and check us out. Come to the Queen City Home Store in Pineville, and I'll be there. I'll take a meet, and we'll meet you and talk and whatever, but it's going to be a great meeting. I'm excited now. I was hoping that we would be at the new home store in Pineville, and sure enough, we're going to be. So that's NARICharlotte.com. Get online. You can make your reservations, which I will do as soon as I finish this here show today, and I plan to be there. So great store, Queen City Home Store. Go online, queencityonline.com. If you're looking for appliances, furniture, home furnishings, Queen City Home Store's got you squared away. And they probably got the best price on any appliance you're looking for. And they'll beat anybody. Check them out. Try them. You'll see. And once again, Queen City Home Store, I want to thank them for the support they've given Put Tools and Scrolls through the years. They've been a great sponsor and great support. They're responsible for these two TVs behind me. And you're probably saying, what are those TVs for? You'll see in the upcoming weeks. We're going to have some really effects with those TVs and the monitors. Looking forward to it.
Queen City has been an institution in this community for
1952.
Yeah, I was fixing to say at least 60 years.
It's been 74.
Wow.
Because they started the year I was born.
I started buying stuff from them when I was 19 when I purchased my first home.
Well, if you're like me, I started my first credit account with Queen City. I bought a Zenith television.
Same.
Floor model.
Same.
Same thing. Yeah, that's where I got my first credit established. Queen City Audio, it was Queen City TV and Appliance back then. And it changed to Queen City Audio, Video and Appliance. Now it's the Queen City Home Store. Family owned and operated since 1952. Woody Player and family. God bless them. They're a great family, great support to the community. They do so many great things through the years. Give them a call, Queen City Home Store. Like I said, the NARI dinner meeting, January 22nd, Time, 5:30 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at the new store, 11410 Carolina Place Parkway in Pineville. That's the NARI monthly meeting. All right, and also I want to give thanks to ABS Insulating. If you're doing a remodeling project, building a home, wanted to just make your house more comfortable, less money, give them a call. Just Google them, ABS Insulating, located here in the Charlotte metro area, but they've got various locations throughout the Carolinas, so give them a call. They can handle you no matter where you're at and take care of your insulation needs, be it fiberglass, a combination, foam, closed cell, open cell, air seal program, attic encapsulation, and they do some crawl space encapsulation supplemental work as well with foam. It's a great product, ABS Insulating. So give them a call. They're a great company. You know, let's get back to remodeling.
Ray, real quick. Let's read up some comments we got in the past half.
Oh, sure. Love to hear them.
First one's from Steve Helms. He wrote, I'm about to go jump on a roof and change out a roof damper. Mom Dukes bought me a pair of cooler paws for Christmas, and they work. And we got another one by Les Gratton.
Les is a pest control person.
Okay.
Grattan Pest Control.
Okay. Well, he's saying I need someone who can cut a section of quartz countertop out of my kitchen.
For what? Les, I got a question for you. I appreciate you asking your question, but you want to cut some quartz, but what are you cutting it out? Will it be covered? Will the cut be covered with a new appliance? Because Ray Terry can cut that. But I've cut many a granite and quartz countertop in my life, making the hole bigger. Typically, you cut them to make them bigger. You never cut them to make them smaller, that's for sure. But maybe some do, but I never did. But if you could answer that, if you're listening, Les, I could use the answer to that. But it really, there's a lot of people. You can call Harkey Tile and Stone down in Charlotte. That they've got various people come out and do that for you. Great, and that Harkey Tile is a great company too. Harkey Tile and Stone, great company. Been here just like the players. Been here forever. Used to be Renfro back in the day.
Yep.
And man, I'm gonna tell you something. The Harkey family's been an institution as well. I mean, just tremendous to the Charlotte metro area and remodeling and building contractors alike. So, got any more comments, Kevin?
That's it for right now.
That's it. Well, hopefully Les will get back to us. But if you need some, a lot of when I go out and install cooktops, there's my guys. A lot of times when I go out and do cooktop installation, I'll carry my shop vac along with my side grinder and diamond blade because I've cut as little as 1/8 of an inch off a counter to make a new cooktop work. But it's required sometimes. There's another factor in planning, and that'll cost anywhere from $100 to $150 depending on who you get, or maybe even more depending on who does it for you. And there again, if they're not prepared, yuck, it's a mess. But me, I'm not a messy guy. I carry my shop vac and I turn that sucker on. I catch all the residue and all the blow by, and make a clean job out of it. But yeah, for sure. All right. But remodeling is not, let's just say, it's not for just anybody. And, you talked about demo. Demo probably is one of the easiest parts of remodeling. But demo does not require a sledgehammer. Demo does not require anything but, now you might use a 3-pound mallet, which is a small sledge, but it's a small one. But a large sledgehammer, what do you need it for? If you're not tearing out any walls, you're not going to need a sledgehammer. Matter of fact, I better not see one on a job that I'm on, because it's just not the methodology you want to use. But you can do a lot of removal and demo in one day. And there again, if you're tearing off wall cover such as drywall or plaster, clean the wall, remove all the nails, do not hammer them in. Who taught you that mess? When you clean up a job, clean it up. When you demo it, demo it. Don't leave nails in the wood that stays with the house. Take them out. A lot of people say, well, I'm just going to cover it back up. Yeah, but we got saw blades, and if you don't get them all, somebody going to get cut. Yeah, I'll show you right there. So you're going to have some blood. So really, if you're taking wall cover off like drywall, plaster, or whatever, remove all the nails and the fasteners, please. And do that as you go. And another thing, if you're going to be the DIY guy, and you know, a lot of you might team up with the contractor that you're going to do part of the work and he's going to do the other part of the work. Like if you're going to do the demo, you need to sit down and discuss what that demo includes with your contractor to make sure that you know what you're doing the way he wants it done. Because there's a methodology and a madness to all this mess. But demo requires a certain finesse. And there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. So, and just because you saw it on TV and they're using a sledgehammer, don't mean you need to go to the truck and get your 5-pound sledge. It's just not necessary. I promise you. God, a 3-pound sledge will do everything a 5-pound with more control. And I can knock a 4-inch hole in a brick wall. That's a 4-inch hole right there, folks. Now, how do I know that? Because I cut hundreds of them in walls. I own the Al Metal Dryer Vent Corporation. There's a 4-inch hole right there. And I can make the prettiest 4-inch hole in a brick wall you ever seen just using a mallet. I punch it in there. People say, how you make that so neat? Practice.
Mm-hmm.
Practice.
Yep.
And when you knock it through a concrete block, you know there's a void on each side of that center strut. The concrete block's typically got 2 voids in it, right? Mm-hmm. You want to go with a void. And if you want to cut a perfectly, I'm just throwing these little tidbits out here. You know what a diamond bit is?
Oh, yeah.
What do they call it? Something core?
Yeah, we used to use them all the time at Piedmont, go through fireplaces.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to cut a 4-inch hole in the block wall, I'll perforate it with a 3/6. I'll drew me a 4-inch hole. You've done this with me before, haven't you, Kevin? Yeah. We'll take a 4-inch elbow, put it on there, and draw a 4-inch hole, and then perforate it right outside that line with about every half-inch, bore a hole. And then what you can do is you take a mallet or a chisel and just knock it right out. And you got the prettiest little 4-inch hole. The dryer vent will go right in it. You know, and there's one thing I've noticed with contractors too. Y'all a bunch of pigs. You don't know how to be neat. They don't give it any forethought. They just go crazy and start hammering, just like they do that hole below the cabinet, putting a downdraft in. They're putting a 6-inch pipe, and they cut a 10-inch hole. What's with that? You can't help but get through it, that's for sure. Well, we see that all the time, and that's not good. So just beware of what you're doing. Now back to remodeling. Bathrooms. Here again, what do you need to prioritize in bathrooms? What's the most expensive thing? The most expensive items in the bathroom are the wall covering, floor covering, and the plumbing fixtures. And the plumbing fixtures, you think appliances are high? Huh? Go price some plumbing fixtures. Mm-hmm. Go price them. And then pick them out. Go into a good plumbing warehouse when there's probably 5, 6, 7 to 10 in Charlotte, and they'll blow your mind, like Ferguson Enterprises over on West Summit.
Oh my gosh, that place is amazing. I mean,
it's confusing. It's like a kid in a candy store. You go in there, how do you pick what you want? And you know the answer they give me was, that's why you need a designer.
Of course.
A designer.
Yeah.
You need a designer to help you make those selections.
A little bit more expense.
A little bit more? Yeah, just a little bit.
Get your checkbook.
Just a little bit. But that's what you get. That's what you get. I mean, you got I'm talking $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,200 for a fixture. But there's fixtures you need to put money into, and one of them is your shower valve and your tub and shower valve. And you should never put a shower in without a handheld. Never. And that handheld ought to be on a valve by itself. Yeah, it costs more, but it's better. You'll see. And when you're building a shower, why not put a seat in your shower? Well, I don't even care if you've got a 36 by 36. A small corner seat works well. But if you're building a bigger shower, by all means, think about putting a seat in the shower. Those women use them to shave their legs. And then again, who knows, you could invite the missus in for a shower with you. You never know what might come up. You know, you never know. Just think about these things. Bathroom's a nice room. I like it a lot. Think about these things. And plus, it is your bathroom, your master bath especially. So think about it. There's especially in that shower. Now, if you plan living in that bathroom for some period of time, like the rest of my life maybe, you want to consider a curbless shower, something that's accessible. Yes, here we go again. It costs more, but by gosh, it's worth it, especially when you get older and you need accessibility. You know, you ever break your leg, break your foot? Well, break it one time. You'll see what I'm talking about. Knee replacement.
Yep.
Made life a little difficult.
Yeah. It's one of those things, stepping into a tub or something like that, been a little difficult first month or so.
Yep.
But yeah, some of those things, as we become older, most people will switch to a single level home.
Yep.
With wider doors to accommodate certain things, and that lipless shower is just something we've seen a lot of. And to be honest with you, there's only a limited amount of contractors that I would trust
Right.
to actually put one of those in,
Right.
to get the slopes right and get everything right that needs to go on.
Well, superior tile and marble, superior tile and stone. Kyle Teeter, he is exceptional perfectionist in tile installation and all tile work. Kyle called me last week. Here we go, a youngster. Does great work. Now he's looking to expand and hire more crews. And you know what I told him? Don't. I mean, I said, don't do it. I said, you're in total control now. He said, Ray, I just can't keep up. I said, well, then don't keep up. Are you making good money? He said, oh, yeah. Are you having any problems getting it done yourself? Not really. It's just I'm getting more and more demand. I said, you'll never be able to keep up with it.
Right.
Never. And then you lose control of the quality.
Quality is...
It's essential. Your reputation is primo. And Bathmatic does a pretty good job at tile and shower.
That's the reason he's so busy.
Yeah, he's good.
Quality is something that is lacking in a lot of...
It's gone.
It's gone, yeah. I mean, it's...
Unless you pay good money for a general contractor, design build, or someone who takes great interest in their work and has a reputation, and you can call and validate that with referrals, with quality. Like Steve Matella. You talking about a curbless shower? That's the only thing he would do. He wouldn't even put a curb in there. He didn't even ask you either. He just figured in his plans. Now, it was higher, but his work was impeccable. He's a perfectionist.
Well, you talk about the quality of work. I had one of the best custom builders in Charlotte, impeccable reputation for the last 30, 40 years. He called me up and he said, Bullet, I need a tile job done. And I said, no. He said, no, really, I really need a tile job done. I said, no. And I kept getting louder and louder. I said, just how much is it? And this is 5, 6 years ago.
Sure.
I said, just how much is this tile job? He said, it's only $138,000. I said, for a tile job.
For a little tile job.
Yeah.
That ain't a little tile job.
I said, no. He said, what do you keep saying no for? I said, first off, I know what kind of home you build. I know you are a stickler for quality.
Sure.
I said, I am stuck with guys who, if they can take a 4x4 subway tile and put it up straight, I win that day. I said, what you need is a professional musician to come out there and perform a miracle.
Right.
He's going to charge
a
premium price, probably double, maybe triple of what I'm doing, but you need that guy with the expertise that pays attention to detail to complete the kind of job that you want. So, no, I'm not doing any of your tile work.
To your point, I went up to look at a couple $1 million house up on Lake Norman, which somebody invited me to go up there and just take a look at it because it was an extraordinary house. Designed just off the chart. I mean, it was great.
Unbelievable.
Top drawer. And the guy, multimillionaire, he wanted quality. And he was really, really pissed at the quality he's been delivered so far. And I went up there and I kept going through all the bathrooms and I noticed they were ready for tile. Then I looked out in the garage and there was stacks of tile everywhere. And I asked him, who's doing your tile work? Great question. You know anybody? I said, I know a couple people. Let me give you a name, a couple of them. So I gave him Kyle's. Kyle's went up there, and he got the job. And the builder called me, and he says, Ray, you were right. I said, about what? He says, Kyle, that boy's a perfectionist, and he's good. He's damn good. I said, yes, he is. And he did that house, and the homeowner was the builder, which owns the house too. Mm-hmm. He was more than happy with the quality of work. But there's your great example of his work, because there again, there's a craft that's a dying profession going away if we don't get people to step up and learn to use tools, so.
And my father-in-law passed away about 25 years ago, but he was in the tile and marble business for 40 years.
Okay.
He did a lot of work out at South Park and Eastland, the corridors and a lot of the blocks,
a lot of rock.
A lot of, just a lot of ceramic tile back in the day.
A lot of marble, a lot of stone.
Oh yeah, all that. So he was familiar, and he had two guys that were just great crew leaders, very experienced, could do anything with a piece of tile or marble.
Sure.
And it's funny, he couldn't get labor.
No, you can't.
So he would hire these guys fresh out of prison or on parole or prison release,
right.
And he would try to teach them a skill. The man had a heart of gold.
Sure, he sure did.
And sometimes, he'd have 15, 20 guys run around, and, I never will forget, I went to work for him just to help him out.
Sure.
A couple of days. And one of his team leaders come up and said, Bullet, I'm going to tell you something. Don't let Raymond see you with your hands in your pockets. You better be holding a broom or a shovel or a wheelbarrow or something, because just because you're his son-in-law don't mean you ain't going to get a good tongue lashing. So, this goes back to what we're talking about, put tools in schools. This goes back forever.
Right.
And
on put tools in schools. We got about 5 minutes left here, so let me take it. We've got some events coming up. We've got several in elementary school. First time we've ever been asked to come to an elementary school and do a trades career day. I'm curious about how that's going to go, because honestly, I've never went and addressed or tried to teach or interact with elementary school kids, but it's going to be fun. But we need your help, industry. What do we do? If these kids don't know what the trades are, then what are we going to do to teach them? What are we going to do? Trades career days, that's an answer. Now, I need volunteers. I need businesses to step up, be a part of this. How do you know? Go to puttoolsinschools.org, the events calendar, and all the events are listed right there. And there was a new one that called yesterday that I got to get on the events calendar. And it's to be at another middle school. I can't remember which middle school at this time, but I'll get that. No, McClintock's already on the calendar, But we'll get that taken care of and updated. But folks, they're no good if we don't show up and address and engage these kids. They need interactive. They need something they can remember, something that excites them. And believe me, tools excite them, because they never put their hands on it otherwise. Kids love tools. They're toys. I love them too. I think they're fun. I couldn't do what I do every day without tools. Toys for tools, tools for toys. Same thing to me. Couldn't do anything without them. So what I want you to do, if you would please, is go to puttoolsinschools.org. See what we're doing. See what you can do to play with us. And I say us, I mean the kids, the students. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, oh my goodness, we need to get in as many as we can. And the fortunate thing this year is schools, teachers, CDCs, that's career development coordinators, are reaching out for us. The least we can do as an industry is show up. I'll do the legwork, I promise you. I'll do the legwork. I'll set it all up. We will. All you need to do is show up with a table and something to engage the kids, hands-on engagement, not bobbleheads. They just sit there and talk. They get that every day in school. Teachers are bobbleheads. I know, I don't say that in a negative way, but let's get real. That's all these kids see every day is teachers standing up in front of the classroom talking to them. And most of the time talking at them, not to them. And that's not their fault, it's just the system we live in. But wouldn't it be nice to have a day like a trades career day where the Kids can go in a gym, see things, experience things they've never experienced. And more than anything, learn what the trades are all about, what they are, because they have no clue. Gotcha. They have no clue what the trades are. So, puttoolsinschools.org. We need volunteers. We need money. We need industry to step up and attend these events. Please, please, please. We're no good without you. That's Put Tools in Schools. Bullet here is one of the board members. Hope you hang around with us, Bullet, and get some more industry to step up.
Well, I was just going to mention, Ray, those of you that are out there listening to this podcast, if you're in an industry that needs labor, needs trades, go to our website and request a meeting with me. I'll be happy to come out and make a personal visit, explain a little bit more in detail about everything that's going on, and I'll even ask you for money. And but your participation in this is something that we vitally need. Getting these kids out of the need to go to college and get in debt is something we really need to, and we need the labor.
So, folks, puttoolsinschools.org is as simple as that. Now, go make it a great week. We love you all. Let's health is wealth, so stay healthy, be safe out there. We'll be here next Saturday morning, 9 to 11 on Fox Sports, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Every week we'll be here, I promise you. So tune in. Tune in every Tuesday around noon. We should be here as well. So that's puttoolsinschools.org and aboutyourhouseradio.com. Tune us in, folks. That's About Your House every week right here, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and like us, subscribe, and what have you. So go make it a great week. We're going to make it a great week, and we'll see you right here back next week, right here on About Your House. Have a great week. We love you all.
Cool. Good job.